Hello friends, welcome to Diksha Classroom. In the last few days, we have been discussing latest NTA NET previous year questions. We have discussed many questions from various topics from latest NTA NET examination. So, in the topic of higher education itself, we have discussed many questions, and today we are going to discuss some of other questions which NTA has asked in the last examination, which were conducted in the months of September, October and November. So friends, let's move to the first question. So first of all, you can read the questions and you can comment the answer. If you want more time, you can pause the video and you can think about that and you can study about that and you can type the answer. And after my explanation, after my clarification, if you have any further doubts, you can comment your doubts. We will be clarified, we will be giving a detailed explanation to your doubts. So the question is, which of the following are regulatory bodies within the Department of Higher Education in the Ministry of Human Resource Development in the central government? So in this question, we know that we have given 5 kinds of bodies, and out of these 5 bodies, we have to be selected which of the bodies within the which of the bodies are the regulatory bodies within the Department of Higher Education in the Ministry of Human Resource Development in the central government. I hope you have understood this question and you can comment your answer below. And we are moving to the answer. So the answer is option A is the right answer. B, C, D are the regulatory bodies. In this question, when you see this question, we have to be identified the key words or the key terms. In this question, we can understand the key word is regulatory bodies. So out of these bodies, out of these 5 bodies, which are them are regulatory bodies and which are the non-regulatory bodies within the Department of Higher Education in the Ministry of Human Resource Development in the central government. So we know that NUEPA is not a regulatory body within the Department of Higher Education in the Ministry of Human Resource Development, but UGC is a regulatory body, AICTE a regulatory body, DEC a regulatory body, and ICSSR is not a regulatory body within the Department of Higher Education in the Ministry of Human Resource Development in the central government. So we should be clearly and thoroughly understood these kinds of questions, because maybe the next time this question will be asked by some other ways. And the another thing, maybe in the next time we can be expected the questions like what is the full form of NUEPA, what is the full form of UGC, what is the full form of AICTE, and DEC stands for, ICSSR stands for, like questions also we can be expected in the coming examinations, because these kinds of questions were asked previously NET examinations, the last year NET examinations. We could find these kinds of questions related to the abbreviations or the full forms. So we should identify it clearly. So first one is NUEPA. NUEPA stands for National University of Education Planning and Administration. UGC we know, UGC University Grants Commission. AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education. It is not teaching education, it is technical education. DEC means Distance Education Council, and ICSSR means Indian Council of Social Science Research. So these kinds of full forms we should clearly understood. So I hope you have understood this question. We can move to the next one. In this question, in the university governance, who is the executive head? So we have given four options: the chancellor, the vice chancellor, the registrar, the education secretary. So these all are the heads. Chancellor is a head, vice chancellor is a head, registrar is a head, secretary is a head. So in this question, we have to identify who is the executive head. All these are related to the governance of a university, but we should identify who is the executive head of university governance. You can comment your answer. So the answer is the vice chancellor. So this is an easy question. We know that the universities are governing by the VC, that is vice chancellor. So we can move to the next question. So in this question, we have given two statements. First one, statement 1 and statement 2. So when we see these kinds of questions, we have to read the statements, both statements very clearly, and then only we have to give the answer. So the statement 1 says the UGC, that means the University Grant Commission. The University Grants Commission in India has statutory responsibility for maintenance of quality and coordination of institutions of higher education. So it's an easy statement. Then second one, the statement 2 says the NCTE, National Council for Technical Education, being a regulatory body for teacher, National Council for Teaching Education, NCTE means National Council for Teaching Education, being a regulatory body for teacher education in India, comes under the control of UGC. In light of above statements, we have to be identified. We have given four options. Which option is true? Which option is right answer? We have to be identified that. So we have given two statements, and in the lights of above two statements, which one is correct? Option A says both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. Option B says both statement 1 and statement 2 are false, and option C says statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is false, and option D says statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is true. So you can comment your answer. So the answer is C, statement 1 is correct, but we know that obviously statement 2 is not correct, it is false. Statement 2 is not correct, because then we have to identify why the statement 1 become correct and why the statement 2 become false. We need to understand that. So when it comes to statements 1, the UGC, University Grant Commission in India, has statutory responsibility for maintenance of quality and coordination of institutions of higher education. So we know that quality and the coordination of the institution of higher education. When we talk about higher education, it is the UGC's responsibility. It is the statutory responsibility of UGC to maintain the quality and coordination of institutions of higher education. So the statement 1 is true. And when it comes to the statement 2, the NCTE, being a regulatory body for teacher education in India, comes under the control of UGC in UGC. That is the second statement. Then it is a wrong statement. It is not true. Why we say it is wrong? Because NCTE is not a regulatory body. It is not a regulatory body. NCTE not a regulatory body. It is a non-regulatory body. So here in the statement says it is a regulatory body, but it is not regulatory body. So the statement 2 is false. So the answer is option C. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is false. The next one, the first open university in India was established in the year. We have given 4 years. First one in 1980, then 1982, then 1985, then 1986. So out of these 4 years, In which year the first open university in India was established? You can comment the answer. It is a direct question. If we know the answer, we can do the answer very quickly. So the answer is 1982. So don't forget, we should remember this. The first open university in India was established in the year of 1982. So the date is 26th August. So don't forget, regarding when we talking about the first open university, it was established in the year of 1982. The date is 26th August, and this university is situating in Hyderabad, that Andhra Pradesh, and the name of the university is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. We know about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, so we don't want to explain in this time. What I want to tell you is, when we talking about the first open university in India, so when we discussing or when we studying regarding the first open university in India, we should remember these four things. Don't forget, when we studying regarding the first open university in India, we should remember these four things. First one is, it was established in the year of 1982, and the date is August 26th is the date. Year is 1982, and it is established in the state of Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad, and the university is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Don't forget these kinds of informations when talking about the first open university in India. So the next one, what are the advantages of choice-based credit system, CBCS, introduced by the UGC for higher education institutions? And we have given 5 statements. First one, focuses on student-centric education, then allows students to choose interdisciplinary and intradisciplinary courses, then makes education at par with global standards, then makes it easy to estimate the performance level of students in terms of marks. Then last one, offers flexibility for students to undertake studies at different times and at different institutions. Out of these 5 statements, what are the advantages of choice-based credit system which was introduced by the University Grants Commission for Higher Education Institutions? Then we have given some codes like option A, B, C, D only, option B, B, C, D, E only, and C says A, B, C, E only, and the last one, option D, says C, D, E, A only. You can comment your answer. We are moving to check the answer. So the answer is option C. Option C is the right answer. A, B, C, and E are the advantages. Among these 5 statements, these A, B, C, E are the advantages of choice-based credit system introduced by the UGC for higher education institutions. So in this question, it is an easy question. The statements are very easy. We can simply exclude the option D, because here it says in terms of marks. In terms of marks, it makes it easy to estimate the performance level of students in terms of marks. It is not an absolute advantages of the choice based credit system. So and the next time we can be expect the questions like the full form of CBCS. We can be expected this kind of questions. So remember, CBCS means choice based credit system. It means choice based credit system. It is introduced by UGC and it is for higher education institutions. It is related to higher education institutions. These things we should remember these things. And one of the advantage of choice based credit system is its focus on student centric education, and the another advantage is allows students to choose interdisciplinary and intradisciplinary courses. It is provided the choice-based credit system provider interdisciplinary courses and interdisciplinary courses. It is an advantage. Then makes education at par with global standards. So the CBCS system, the UGC has introduced it to, we know that the educational standards, the standards of educational institutions in India, when we compare to the foreign universities, are far below. The UGC has introduced this choice-based credit system to improve our standards. Then D, the option D is not an advantage. We have discussed that. And the last one offers flexibility for students to undertake studies at different times at different institutions. So it's also an advantage. The uh, students can do the studies at different times, and they have a chance to choose the different institutions. So the option E also an advantage of choice based credit system. So the answer is C. So friends, these are the questions we have discussed today, and we will be discussing all questions which we didn't discuss yet in the coming sessions. Thank you.